Yorozu Automotive Tennessee is a Tier 1 supplier of high-quality automotive components. Our mission is to produce for our customers the highest quality automotive parts made in the world. Yorozu Automotive is located in Morrison, Tennessee, and was established on September 4, 1986, with the start of production in February of 1988. Yorozu Automotive, or YAT, is a two-part merger with Yorozu Corporation and Sumitomo. YAT provides quality components to many of the world's top automotive suppliers, including General Motors, Honda, Isuzu, Nissan, and Toyota, with the main product line consisting of chassis, front suspensions, and front suspension components. YAT has the production capabilities of receiving raw coil rolled steel, stamping metal products, welding assembly, electrostatic painting, installation of mounting bushings, and shipping quality components that are ready to be installed by our customers. In addition to supplying high-quality components in a timely manner, YAT also strives to meet or exceed all environmental aspects that are associated with producing automotive components. YAT is ISO 14001 certified. Our environmental policy. YAT is committed to the continuous improvement of the environmental system and to the prevention of pollution. At YAT, quality is built into each process and component. YAT is TS 16949 and QS 9000 certified. The YAT quality policy is to achieve total customer satisfaction in quality, delivery, service, and safety through continuous improvements. YAT has received many awards for excellence in quality. Other functions of quality will be discussed later in the video. Safety is priority number 1 at YAT. Our safety policy is to provide a safe and comfortable workplace for all colleagues by continuous communication and continued work environment improvements. Personal protective equipment, or PPE, is required for production-related positions. Safety glasses, earplugs, caps, steel-toed boots and shoes, apron, cut-resistant sleeves, and gloves are required in all shop floor areas. Hard hats are required in certain production areas that utilize overhead lifting devices. Pedestrian aisleways are clearly identified in blue. Colleagues should walk in these designated aisleways while traveling to and from the break area or to another work area. Mirrors are placed at each aisleway intersection. Pedestrians must stop at each intersection and view the mirror to look for oncoming forklift traffic. Forklift drivers must stop at each intersection and in turn look for pedestrian traffic. Fire extinguisher locations are clearly labeled on specific support beams along with fire alarm switches. Tag out. Prior to being placed in the shop floor environment, colleagues will be issued a red tag-out badge. This badge will have detailed information including the colleague's name and work area. In some situations, colleagues will be required to enter the robot working area to assist with machine malfunction. Colleague tag-out is required on any and all processes prior to entering the caged area of the machinery. Tag-out is a vital part of the new hire orientation and is discussed in detail with each colleague prior to operating any machinery. Safety devices are engineered into each process, including door plug switches, emergency stop buttons, light curtains, and finger-activated switches. Some component parts are purchased from external vendors. However, the majority of metal stampings used at YAT are manufactured internally. Coil rolled steel is received in the stamping department to be utilized in the manufacturing process. The stamping technician places the coil into the press to begin the blanking process. Specific sized and shaped blanks are produced and stored in containers to be sent to the next process. YAT has several stamping presses, some as large as 3,000 tons, to produce the components that will result in a finished suspension. Blanks are loaded into the press. Robots and pneumatic machinery automatically loads the blanks into the press. Hydraulic pressure forms the metal blank around the die to mold the component. Also during this process, holes are punched for utilization at another manufacturing process, and the parts receive certain markings for traceability. The brackets will be transferred to the assembly department and arc welded into a final product. Quality checks. The stamping technician performs quality checks on scheduled intervals. Parts are placed on quality fixtures approved by the customer and thoroughly checked using measuring equipment such as dial calipers, metric scales, and taper gauges. Visual checks are also performed during this process and during actual production. Parts are stored in containers and transferred by forklift to the assembly line or storage area. Die changes. After the scheduled production has been obtained, a die change is performed on the stamping press. In most situations, the changeover will be performed in 5 to 10 minutes. Mechanical bolster simultaneously transfers the completed die out of the press and the upcoming production die into the machine. Pneumatic grippers, along with other devices, are exchanged to complete the changeover and prepare the press for the next production requirements. Assembly area. Stamping components are transferred to the assembly production area and loaded into the machinery by the material handling department. Assembly is the largest department at YAT. Here, metal stampings are combined with externally purchased components, arc welded and spot welded to form what will be the finished part. Production lines are automated with robots and other mechanical systems to assist with the assembly process. The stamping component is loaded into the assembly fixture and located by metal pins to prevent movement. Other stamped or externally purchased components are added to the fixture to complete the process. Arc welding is the primary form of welding used throughout YAT. However, many parts will also require resistance welding to add additional brackets or structure to the component. Quality assurance checks. All assembly processes require quality checks. These checks are typically scheduled every 2 hours. The technician will place the part onto a customer-approved fixture and measure specific areas of interest using dial calipers, metric taper gauges, to ensure the quality of the parts being produced. Parts are also visually inspected to ensure the identification markings and welding is to specification. Total preventative maintenance, or TPM, is maintained by a daily check sheet located on each assembly line. Operators are required to check a detailed list of items that could hinder safety, quality, or production. Items included are testing safety switches, air pressure, water separator, and the emergency stop buttons to prevent any future issues with the machinery. Painting. The welded parts are transferred to the paint shop via rolling A-frames. The paint shop technician will use the automated arm to remove each individual rack and hang it on the paint rack conveyor. Once placed on the conveyor, the parts start the painting process, which takes 2 hours to complete. YAT uses a method called electrostatic painting to place a black, highly durable finish on the parts. There are many detailed stages that are included in the painting process. The parts will be dipped through each process to complete the painting. The part coating is tested on a detailed schedule to comply with our internal quality specifications and our customers' requirements. The newly painted parts are received off the adjacent end of the paint shop conveyor and again placed on the A-frame for transport. Bushing and torque process. Some of our finished good parts do not require bushings. However, the majority of suspension components are installed on the vehicle and mounted by rubber bushing to assist with crash systems and noise suppression. The rubber bushings are loaded by the technician and mechanically pressed to ensure the proper seating pressure is applied. Fail-proof detection devices known as polka yokes are incorporated within the bushing machinery to prevent operator error. The machine sounds an alarm if a lack of bushing is detected. Finally, the two sub-assemblies will be placed into the fixture, assembled via threaded components, and torqued to the customer specifications. A barcode is added to the completed part to assist with tracking if needed in the future. Once again, another quality check is performed to ensure the product will meet the expectations of our customer. Quality. At YAT, quality is second only to safety. Suspension components are a vital system on automobiles. Failure of a suspension system could result in fatalities. It is important for each YAT colleague to understand the importance of quality and realize the functions associated with maintaining the quality standards as required during the production process. Any parts found to be unsatisfactory are quarantined in the QA zone. Here, trained individuals will sort the parts or components, and quality engineers will determine the method for processing the suspect material. The QA lab area takes advantage of 21st century technology to assist with controlling quality. Here, welding macros are performed and analyzed to ensure the production process welding is meeting the internal and external requirements. CMM, or coordinate measuring machines, measure parts with precision accuracy based on customer specifications. Durability testing is performed on vital components. Some parts will cycle weeks at a time to ensure the product will meet the tortures of daily use in the field. Shipping. The JIT, or just-in-time method, is used at YAT. Inventory is typically less than a half a day. Once again, the most up-to-date technology is used to maintain and measure inventory levels. Barcode computer systems are utilized to track and ship completed parts. First-in, first-out method is used to ship parts. Parts are shipped in approved containers designed by YAT engineers, external companies, and customer requirements. Today's competitive market requires continued improvement with manning, machine, and production methods. Our workforce is a very dedicated team that strives to meet and exceed all of the standards required by our customers. The most important ingredient in the success of YAT is the people that have joined together to establish the yorozu workforce. Through this continued dedication, yorozu is determined to be a driving force in the field of automotive suspension systems for many years to come. Thank you.